Hello all, welcome to Design Dream. Today we have Anshuman Kumar, a product designer from NID. He has completed his bachelor's from NIFT Bangalore and currently working in Samsung India. He is a Red Dot winner and keeps himself busy with his personal projects. Let's explore his design journey together. Welcome Anshuman.
Hello guys, thank you for having me, Vishal.
तो अंशुमन इज बेसिकली थोड़ा सा ज्यादा जूनियर है, तो हम जब एनआईडी में थे तो एक दूसरे के चेहरे तो जानते ही थे, बहुत सारे लोग जानते हैं एक दूसरे को
Yeah, I
ऐसे.
used to see Vishal around the campus, but we hardly interacted like in person. But we had a clue that okay, yeah,
हम
we
है.
exist in the
we
campus.
exist we
Yeah.
exist in the campus. Yeah, so Anshuman, how did your design journey started?
Yeah. So I think I'll have to go to my childhood experiences. So during my early schooling, I used to draw a lot, and my father used to be my first teacher to make me complete my science projects and all, because he's coming from
Mhm.
an engineering background, and my grandfather was an electronics engineer. So
Okay.
during summer vacation, I used to visit him, play in his workshops, play around different electronic components which he used to assemble and create. So that was the fun part. But later I realized that these dots are connecting and helping me develop my passion into arts and science somehow. And
Mhm.
but I had no clue about that there will be any stream which will exist, which will take the best of art and science and then give a direction to me. Little I knew that in future I'll be pursuing that only. So
Mm.
after 12th, I gave around 9 to 10 engineering exams because the whole environment was around that only.
Okay.
And but I was very terrible at mathematics, and I was just barely making the cut just to get through.
Okay.
And then I somehow managed to give entrance exam for NIFT, and I did cracked into engineering colleges as well. But the moment I received my result from NIFT, I told my family that this is it, I need to go there. And somehow I managed to convince them. That was a very tough call for a 12th grad kid, which had no clue about how it will turn out to be. And I think it all turned out really well. So that's how I
Yeah.
entered into the field of design through NIFT Bangalore. So that is where I
So
learned
when
all
you're
the
giving,
alphabets. Yeah.
so when you're giving the engineering exam,
Yeah.
like the entrance exam, then how did you
Yeah.
find NIFT entrance exam?
Oh, that's a very interesting story. One of my friend's elder sister is a NIFT Chennai grad pass out, and her
Okay.
prospectus was like धूल फाक रहा था coffee table पे.
Okay.
And we friends used to visit each other's house, and then somehow I saw that prospectus. I flipped it out, and then there was like all the streams listed down with the descriptions. एक्सेसरी डिजाइन में ये होता है, प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन में ये होता है, फैशन डिजाइन में ये होता है. तो वो वाला जोन तो मैंने तुरंत फ्लिप कर दिया, बिकॉज देयर वाज नो इन्वायरमेंट. इफ आई वुड हैव टोल्ड कि मुझे फैशन वाले फील्ड में जाना है, तब तो वो वो प्रोस्पेक्टस भी जल जाता और मेरी सुटाई भी हो जाती.
Okay.
सो समहाउ आई रेड कि प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन में देयर इज लाइक फिजिकल प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन होते हैं. And then the thumbnails which were used, no, they were from Titan watches and then few
Mhm.
prominent brands. So which gave a very good foundation, a glimpse ki where I can see people learning this craft can go land up into.
Mhm.
So that was one thought which helped me to show my parents ki, see, this is like near to mechanical engineering. The product design is around that. But yes, it is
यही है.
nowhere near to mechanical engineering. I'll just give the heads up. So that's how my father also 50% got convinced. And then
हम्म.
that's how it all started.
मशीन के आजू बाजू ही रहेगा वो.
Exactly.
So yeah, and then in NIFT what you did?
So NIFT, it
What
was
was?
fashion and lifestyle accessory design, and the curriculum was designed in such a way that it depends on the personal individual interest. If they want to
Mm.
take soft goods, or if they want to take hard goods, or industrial product design, or decor related product design, so they
Mhm.
can choose their specialization or the kind of projects which classrooms had in sequence on semester basis. So based on that, I had an inclination towards watches and all, and Titan was my dream company because of the prospectus.
प्रोस्पेक्टस पे देखा था पहले ही, यही डिजाइन करना है
Exactly.
मुझे.
Yeah, exactly. And somehow during admission, no, my professor told my father, हाँ हाँ मैं टाइटन में जॉब लगवा दूंगा with utter confidence, and which never happened actually. But then my father was at some peace, अच्छा ठीक है. I mean, people are full with confidence that the future is bright. Somehow he took the message, and then it all started.
अभी लेकिन आई कैन सी कि तुम्हारा एक बढ़िया प्रोडक्ट आना बाकी है, which would be a watch.
Yeah, could be. Yes,
It
yes.
could be a watch.
Yeah,
ठीक है,
true,
जब उसके
true.
लिए रेड डॉट डिजाइन जीतेगा, then don't forget to mention.
Yeah, sure. True, true.
And then how was your like NIFT kind of like, how did you
So
do
NIFT
there?
was very thrilling because it was a cultural shock to me. I mean, a small town boy. I'm coming from Ranchi. Exposure wise, it was not a very big city. So
Mhm.
directly coming to Bangalore, leaving the home, that cocoon space, and then seeing people coming from the entire nation, from different states, and then learning about their cultural backgrounds, the contrasting way of doing things, that was a
Yeah.
culture. So first semester was like, I think each and every second is imprinted on my mind as a memory. So yeah, that was really grilling, fun, a lifetime memories to cherish. So,
Mhm.
and that's how, and I learned all the alphabets of design, I would say. The foundation we get in bachelor's 4 years, right? That
Yeah.
is good amount of time to learn a craft.
Yeah.
And that is where I learned all the basics of design, the
And that
fundamental
age is
principles.
also like, very important phase also.
Yeah. We
That
are
you are
open to learn anything and
open to learn
everything,
from.
whatever comes on our way. We know, don't question कि ये क्यों पढ़ा रहे हैं,
हाँ,
ये क्या
वो
है, what
मास्टर्स
is
नहीं
the
होते.
sense of it? Yeah, exactly. What is the sense of it? So yeah, we were all open. Yeah.
वो
Because we were
मास्टर्स नहीं होते.
clueless actually. Design होता क्या है, we didn't knew about it, right? Engineering में we know, civil engineering में घर बनाते हैं, इसमें ये होता है, इसका ये structure है, everything is predefined. But in design, that's the beauty. I mean, it's defined, and at the same time it is undefined as well. It's up to you how you see things. So that's the fun part.
Yeah, good. And then afterwards you worked at Decathlon after NIFT.
Yeah, so immediately after NIFT, I was little adamant to join Titan, but then there was no opportunity. So I waited for around 6 months, and then I realized this is it. I need to join someplace. So I found this good opportunity at Decathlon.
Okay.
And then I was assigned with team sports like cricket, basketball, volleyball related products. So I designed couple of sports shoes for them, special sports shoes for cricket sports. So, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
after I moved to Ardinox. That's a lifestyle brand from House of Jindal Steel.
Okay.
That was in Delhi. So I shifted from Bangalore to Delhi, and
Okay.
then I worked there for another year. And that was when I realized that I need to like further go for studies. And
Complete the
then,
masters.
yeah. And I think that 2 years immediately after bachelor's as a work experience was good learning experience. It expanded my horizon, and I learned so many things. The actual implementation of design philosophies, principles, and methods that gave me fair understanding that where I can head and then specialize further. One
तब
thing
तक
was,
मार्केट भी समझ में आया.
yeah, exactly. What things works, what doesn't things. I mean,
Yeah.
coming out from the dreamy world of the college,
Yeah.
that was very important.
Reality check.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you started with NID, or you had something in mind that you wanted
No,
specific
actually,
college?
NID was my last option. I don't know why that thought. Um, so initially, I was looking out for colleges in foreign, like Aalto University in Finland or Art Center in Pasadena, where very celebrated designers had came out, like designers who had worked in Lamborghini, Ferrari. So that glamour was attracting me. That
Yeah.
these colleges will give me road to entry point to those
Yeah.
brands. but somewhere we need to be practical because NIFT was also not a very cheap college in terms of fees and cost of living.
Yeah.
So it was a hard call for me to settle down in India. And then I did crack a few of the colleges, got 100% scholarship as well, but still that was not enough to suffice the cost of living. And that was the point where I thought, no, let's give the entrance exams for the Indian scenario as well. So IDC and
Okay.
NID was the top two options.
For NID, was it easy as to crack NID? Like, what things you did to study for or preparation for NID? How did you prepare for NID?
So I tried to connect with few of the alumni who had like studied in NID. Few of my seniors from NIFT, they studied from NID and ITC Bombay as well. So that gave me some insight about the structure, how the examination, entrance examination goes about, and the levels are in it. So, and since coming from the design background from bachelor's, I had a fair understanding of the know-how, what will be the pattern of questions and all. There will be some deviation from the format from NIFT to NID, but the difference was very marginal in that terms. We have in personal interviews, individual interviews around at NID, but NIFT, there were only two rounds, one written test, second round was situation test where we used to complete a task, whatever. And NID was the only thing, the interview part was different at IDC and NID as well. So I just kept on practicing what I used to do. I think that only helped as a preparation, nothing else sort of. Yeah.
And how was your interview?
Interview was good. I had a portfolio because in the past I had already worked for two companies, and for that my portfolio was already ready. So I had just printed it out and then simply went on for the interview, and that portfolio worked for me because it was a very practical, hands-on portfolio, and products were already in the market. So one big question was why you want to study the masters, because you already have products launched by now. Then I revealed my honest answer that NIFT gave me the surface understanding of the design, the chromatic part of it. But I wanted to go much deeper, understanding the in-depth impact of design on the social quotient, how at a system level design has a role to play and bring change. So these things were non-existent that time. So that is what I wanted to learn, and the industrial design part as well, because electronics and these domain related brands, they do require little step up rounds of skills, set of skills, which I thought I need to learn in a structured way. And I think that answer fulfilled their curiosity.
आ जाओ,
आ जाओ,
NID में आ जाओ.
आ जाओ, yeah.
Right. So good. Yeah. And so I would like to see a few projects if you can share
Yeah,
that you
sure.
had done in NID. So one question before that, you always were you thinking to do product design only, or were you thinking of other streams as well from to do in NID? Because
So no, that was very, very clear that industrial product design is my thing, and I need to like super specialize into that field, because NIFT was into a little bit lifestyle accessory design, much more of decor, styling, and a little bit of research oriented projects. But I wanted to deep down on that part. And yeah.
Okay, so we'll go to your portfolio, the project that you want to share.
Okay. So this is a winning project which was part of a design competition. We were in the final years of NID. Me and Upendra, we both participated in this national level business case pitch competition. It was organized by Samsung. It's a Samsung Edge campus program in which they invite only quite a few colleges from IIM, IITs, and I think only one or two design colleges were there. NID was one of them. So it was a close-gated national level competition. And from there, three winners were selected. So we stood first runner-up. We got second prize for this. So I'll just go into the depth of the project and what is it
Okay.
about. Yeah. So the initial brief was to come up with a business case study about a young solo household. So we picked this persona. So persona is basically targeting your user base, understanding what their lifestyle is about, what is the situation running in different aspect in their life. So we started mapping the situation around young solo households. So they base their consumption decision more on lifestyle consideration than on functional needs. That was the major insight which came out from the initial research. And then we started deep diving into the persona. It was a very extensive documented project, so I'll skip few things here and there. Uh,
Okay.
for the sake of time. So yeah, we defined a persona, a person who is a working professional in a metro city, traveled from one place to another, is a migrant, occupational migrant, and then travel to have a exposure to all the major cities in India. Every 2 3 years, the person is moving from one place to another. That's the migration timeline, and because of this they can't have a very heavy setup in their home because they are ever moving person, right? And these are few keywords which are defining their lifestyle, like comic collector, pop culture enthusiast, and then studio, like few bits and pieces which paints the
Yeah.
picture of the life of that person, right? And then after this, we started deep diving into the scenarios, like a day with that person, mapping, like shadowing kind, virtual shadowing the persona. So the first scenario was the normal commute. Every day, the person is setting up their home, being ready, managing the laundry, and then commuting from home to office, and then come back, and then uh, be at peace, settling down. This all takes some level of management, individual management of the house as well, right? So that's the scenario one. And then the food game, since they're living alone, they need to manage their food all by themselves. Even if having domestic staff, some people may not have the domestic help to help them out, so they are at their own, right? So managing the stock of groceries inside, since they are moving, they can't afford the large appliances like fridge at home.
Yeah.
Or even if they have, they sometimes either overstock food items inside it and they end up wasting it, or if they are understock. So these scenarios are floating around the
Yeah.
food game. It's very difficult for them to manage these part, and since availability of appliances are also scarce, right? Then the laundry business, they tend to forget doing the laundry. It's all piled up, or sometimes they just don't have time to do the press of the ready laundry, what to wear, what not to wear. So these are the few touch points we figured out around these scenarios where there is a problem or the management part is taking too much of stress. So, so now we were at a point where we had to zone down at one scenario, because taking all the scenarios forward will dilute the design direction too much. So we had
Yeah.
to pick up one direction. And one major thing was the food. All the bachelors, working professionals, or even students, they had this major problem managing the food part. And why food? Because we also did some world data about
Okay.
like what is the target size. 9 million graduates are coming every year. That's a huge number of market size, right, for a brand like Samsung. And the average age of marriage is now shifting to a later stage, so the bachelorhood period is little bit stressed out. So the need of certain appliances will be also stressed out, kind of thing, right? The total consumption by wealthy urbanites is 34%, and the consumption is like the market size as a business potential is around 4 trillion, which is a huge market potential. So these data points are helping to build foundation for the design directions which we are about to pick.
Okay.
And then what the number says around food. So one third of the annual production, food production, is never eaten. The food wastage due to lack of cold storage is around 50%. 42% of the household waste is due to lack of cold storage. So, and hence the target user base is bachelors. They don't have refrigeration at home in most of the cases, based on
Yeah.
the data which we researched about. And that was the good delta point for us to base our foundation for the design project.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we went ahead to map out opportunity areas in between the gaps. So we skimmed out few of the key insights, like urban new nomads are unique new breed of consumer that is growing. Problems are unique and distant, hence the distinct family of products is required. The conventional appliances may not be sufficient for their needs. Integration of companion devices, which would give a seamless experience in the daily lives, because they are managing from one service to another, right? So it's very frictionless for them to manage. So how we can reduce the friction points around having a happy living experience at home.
Yeah.
Then introduction of devices which syncs with urban new nomadic life seamlessly, designing with intention which is robust, compact, energy saving, feather light. These are the four principles which we wanted to adhere to whatever solution which we will bring. At this stage, we had no clue what we are going to design. And that is very important by following the design process in design domain.
Okay.
So going ahead, so I'll start presenting the concept. So we came up with this idea of smart food conditioner, which is a coffee tabletop appliance, which works on Peltier chip. Peltier chip is a electronic component in which if you reverse the electrical polarity, on one side it will generate heat, on the other side it will generate cooler temperature. So
Okay.
by one device, you can achieve refrigeration, or you can achieve the warming kind of thing at the same time.
Okay.
So we had this idea. There was a big panel of ideation board, which is not documented here because it's the final outcomes for the competition here. So this smart conditioner, what it does, it helps you to warm your food, because not just refrigeration was a problem, but also overstocking the parceled food items, right? For example, pizza and all, a few slices are left over and then it goes into dustbin because there is no
Yeah.
microwave and any heating appliances. So we wanted to solve these two problems for the bachelors. Um, and that's how this was. The top plate is a heating plate, and the inner compartments are modular, which I'll be showing about the details of it, which is a cooling chamber where you can keep your few cold drink cans or salads or whatever. You can customize it based on your needs, right? So that's how the inner compartment looks like. It's a slide out, slide in kind of fixture, which can be taken out, and you can change the compartments based on your needs.
Okay.
So that's the core of the product. And the key features are the articulated storage, cooling only where it is required, future ready IoT smartness, because it was a trend that people are moving to smart products. So why not this can also be a smart one? Because there was also some findings during our research stage that people tend to forget after putting things on stove, like heating milk and all, and they come back, and then when they go back, it's all blackened out, right?
Yeah.
So, and it has happened with us also many a times, So it was our life experiences which were feeding into the design process, and that's the best part. We had so much to learn from our own lives, and that can be scalable. We as a designer, we need to convert those insights, experiences into scalable models, right? Not as a hyper local model. Then only it will be end up into an industrialized product. So that was the core essence. Yeah. So then you can see that you can customize the inner compartments based on the kind of utensil you can put inside. So that's the 3.75 liter capacity. We calculated the volume of it, that much space you will be having it.
Okay.
And this is the schematics exploded view. This is a rough one because the actual one is confidential because it was submitted to Samsung. and
Okay.
hence there are plans to bring it into the market. We don't have a clear picture about the timelines of it when it will come, but that's how the corporate works. Once they have the
जब
idea,
निकलेगा
they
तो एक
yeah, they park it.
निकलेगा तो एक भेज देना.
Yeah, yeah. Even I'll be happy to use it. It's a much needed thing. So
Very
that's
nice.
the Peltier chip and then the cooling system and the heating plate. That's
How did you come to this idea of like heating and cooling, or how did you like you knew about that chip?
Yeah, I think my previous background of science somehow helped me because I used to experiment with electroplating or whatnot, whatever that small box may science
Mm.
experiment used to be there, no, in the
Yeah.
science books. I used to run everything at home.
Yeah.
And I think that is because I had some sense key.
Mm.
That's the window, I think, to research about. And I think the design domain brings that beauty because we are we are the master of connecting dots, right? We don't need to be
Yeah.
space scientists, but we can design space shuttles as well.
Mm.
So that's the beauty we bring on board.
And then you said you got a job at Samsung.
Yeah, so there were two components of the award. First component was the cash prize. The second component was the interview for the job offer. So me and Upendra, we both landed up into Samsung. Upendra joined in Gurgaon office and I joined in Bangalore campus.
प्राइस मनी हमें हर महीने चाहिए, पूरे साल चाहिए.
Yeah, I think we were more excited about the second part, not the
Yeah.
cash prize which we received on stage. We were much more interested कि वो कैसे translate करना है. We need to crack that. That's very
Yeah.
important. And then we also envision the product family, how we can grow the product from one to another. So we also came up with a smart voice assistant which would be the companion, and it was around 2017 when we came up with this, and Alexa and Google Home didn't picked up by that time. And it also validates our research direction that the world was moving in that direction and we were also on the right track. So that really boost up the morale. If you see, the world is also moving in that direction.
Mm.
And it was also covered in news and
Yeah.
media outlets.
And then you are also working on like with the 3D printers,
Yeah, yeah.
and like so how you keep upscaling your knowledge?
I think each time when I take up a project, there are certain challenges to complete it or like achieve certain benchmark, and those limitation gives me feedback कि ये gap area है. Then I try to create some delta कि अच्छा ये gap है तो start learning about that, and then in the next project see if that is coming to a help or not.
Mm.
And that's how it's one step at a time, and that's how it has been building so far.
So can we see your red dot wala project?
So I have the prototype here handy. So
Okay.
this is a simple salt and pepper shaker in a form of hammer kind of structure.
Okay.
So you can simply sprinkle from at one side of the shell is containing salt, other side is containing pepper, and you can simply twist and then sprinkle pepper or salt. So that's the whole thing, and it's a 3-part piece. So this is the shell. If I can zoom in.
Okay.
So this is the ellipse. So I have used a very basic, simple geometry to keep maintain the elegance in the overall form. And there is some opening on the other side. And this is how it can be plug fit onto the main handle. If I remove all both these shells, so this is how the core structure of the handle stands. And it can rest on your dining table graciously like this.
Okay.
And there is a stand to it. Like this, it can stand.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and it was published in the Red Dot yearbook and exhibited for an year-long design exhibition at Red Dot Museum in Singapore. So we visited there, and saw the product actually being exhibited. That was
Yeah.
really a lifetime experience, memory to cherish. Yeah.
So this was like again your personal project kind of, or
Yeah. This was a personal project, and I do have a story about this, how I got the idea. So there is a SPD module, simple product design module in NID,
yeah.
and this idea was one of the discarded one from the classroom activity,
देखो
which
अमिताभ
which
बच्चन हो गए तेरा तो.
yeah. And after 2 3 years, I was flipping down my diary and I saw this sketch and I thought, why not to develop this out? And then I revisited, tweaked the original idea, applied the new learnings, and that actually helped. अगर मैं 3 साल पहले बनाया रहता तो शायद डस्टबिन में जाता, ठीक है. But वो experience, I think somehow the time was correct,
Yeah,
and it all helped. Yeah.
very nice. And then like what are the projects that you like to work on?
So there are two tracks in my life. One is a simple product, like this, or the wall display thing. It doesn't take a very long duration to develop it. And since having 3D printers at home, I can simply test whatever form I have generated or the solution I have generated, and that's it. Not more than 2 3 moving parts or no moving parts. And in itself, monolith product design sufficient as a design solution. That is one track. The second track is little complex project, highly research, systemic design driven projects, which has a huge impact on environment, social impact quotient. So those are the projects or which requires very cutting edge technologies like artificial intelligence and all. So those are the projects, which is a different track, which where there is lot of dependency on different stakeholders, right? Without that, you cannot achieve the end goal. You can design a concept, but उसको सिर्फ render दिखा के क्या मिलेगा? कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, right? So that's a different track where dependencies are there, which where just as a designer I cannot complete the project. To be honest, and that's fair. That's how the collaborative environment is in the industry. We need to collaborate with developers, engineers, product managers, senior management to set the tone of the direction. So there are a lot of play happening around that. So those type of complex projects are the second track, which is a long term kind of thing. Like once in a blue moon, like 6 month duration में एक project बाहर आया या साल में एक आया ऐसा करके.
So are you working on something like that?
Right now, though, no, because dependencies and limitations. But yeah, last year I did worked on a complex project, which was during pandemic time. It was a testing, all-in-one testing device kit for coronavirus, and not just for COVID, but also for different viruses as well. So it was about localizing or democratizing the testing system. We used to visit hospitals to get tested, right? So my idea was to equip individuals to do the entire testing and immediately get other health related monitoring telematics as well. Or even if you need to inject, let's say, insulin or so. So there is a Lancet system inside which will neutralize the viruses or so. It's a medical equipment. So yeah, that was one project which I did
Okay.
few years back. Yeah.
And what else you do for your entertainment other than 3D
I think
printing?
I think 90. So yeah. Recently, I've developed my passion into traveling. So whenever we get time as a family, we travel from one place to another, and I think that replenishes our creative juices. So that's
Okay, let
that.
me tell the people who are watching. ये सिर्फ इधर के इधर नहीं जाता, ये बाहर ही जाता है.
अरे नहीं.
So he doesn't go in like in India. इंडिया के बाहर ही जाता है ये. तो his
इंडिया भी जाता हूँ, ऐसा नहीं है, इंडिया भी जाता
his
हूँ.
his handle I will share, उड़ता पतंग करके है.
Yeah.
So
So
he will like ड्रोन शॉट का अगर किधर तुम्हें समझ में आया, he and his wife would be like वो ड्रोन शॉट को ऐसे ऐसे टाटा कर रहे हैं, तो जा रहा है, आगे आ रहा है.
that has become our standard pose. We had to like revisit how to be innovative in that. Yeah. But
Good.
yes.
So again, like when you are traveling, so other than museums and all those things, uh, do you and touristy things that people do,
Mhm.
uh, do you check on the trends there, or like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how that has influenced your design?
Yeah, yeah. So one of the hidden agenda is looking out for the design quotient in the city, which my wife is
Okay.
not very well aware of, you know.
Chupke chupke.
So yeah, yeah. So in the itinerary, I smartly incorporate visiting to design museums or these corners where, it will enrich our sense of sensibilities around how other geographies are looking design, right? So that helps to enrich the visual bank. That retention helps a lot, in the next project. And yeah, the approaches are sometimes very contrasting. The way they do design, the way we do design, the way we approach design, the way we look things up. It's really fun to learn about from different cultures and approaches. Yeah.
So have you gone to their design colleges there? Like, if you have visited some.
Colleges, yes. So my exchange semester was in France. So during
Okay.
NID, for one semester, I was in France. That was near to German, Swiss, and French border,
Okay.
Mulhouse. So that was a good opportunity for me to visit few of the industries as well and learn about their design processes during that stint. And that helped me to learn about things that what are the core principles they are following during the design projects or approaches. Yeah. This is it. This is my Insta account. I keep on sharing random stuff. So this is my unorganized portfolio or no portfolio.
No, this is the best portfolio, I think.
Yeah, yeah, you can say so. So recently I have been redesigning one of my old design. So this is a phone dock which I am designing. It's a modular kind of thing which can be used to put phone in landscape portrait mode, or you can put a few of the small accessories like pen, pencil, or so
Okay.
horizontally. And it comes in an entire system. So and then this is the one which is the wall display wala project. Yeah, I mean the grid is complete. I'm really enjoying. I'm simply staring at my wall, by sitting.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I have also started telling my friends, start gifting me more miniatures.
Miniatures.
Yeah. So yeah, this is one of the recent project which recently Yanko Design has also reposted it. It has picked up really well. It went little viral. One second, yeah, this one.
Okay.
It's a USB peripheral holder for your Mac. You don't have enough USB jacks in the Macs in the recent
Yeah.
years. So you need to have dongles plugged in and it used to dangle around hanging. And while editing, if it disconnects, then your entire workflow gets paused. So I designed this attachment. It works on a suction cup where you can use your any hard drives, external hard drives, put it on
Okay.
and simply paste it on the back side of the screen lid, and it
Okay.
will keep it a hold. So you just need to lift your laptop and don't worry about your peripherals
Okay.
hanging around. So,
Yeah. Very nice.
and it's a universal design. So there were few solutions which were very exclusive, like for every other hard drive form factor, they had designed a different case for it. So I wanted to solve that as well. I didn't wanted to just make another form factor for this product. So I
Yeah.
solved it to make it universal, that one design should fit all.
All.
And
Yeah.
that's how I uh, cracked it by using an elastic band so that it is independent of the volume, shape, size of it.
Yeah.
It can organically adapt. Yeah,
Very
this
nice.
is it. Yeah. And yeah, normal. Yeah, and meanwhile, I do take up few Instagram challenges from Render Weekly or so, like animation projects. So
Okay.
this is one of the creative visualization of the same product in metal, because I cannot manufacture things metal at my home, but it doesn't limits me to visualize those. So
Yeah.
that is where the virtual visualization helps in, right?
नहीं तो पता चला कि कल तूने एक सेटअप भी डाल दिया है। उधर पेप्सी के कैन मेल्ट करके डाल रहा है।
या तो वो मुश्किल है वो सब करना तो देर इज अ लिमिट टू वेयर आई कैन यूज माय किचन स्पेस
फिर
तो
तेरे को
ये
घर
है
से बाहर निकलेंगे।
एग्जैक्टली या सो
So this holder was also nice, I think.
and
ऊपर,
it took some iterations, so many iterations it took to reach at that design.
yeah.
And
Mm,
that's how design driven projects come to, right? First
yes,
one may be crap, or it may work just for you, may not be able to fulfill other needs
yeah.
as well. So वो है.
Exploration is always there.
Yeah, yeah.
It can be better.
Mhm.
So what would you suggest, or for aspiring designers, that what they should concentrate on, or how they should go about?
They should be very open to new learnings. They should be unlearning whatever they have learned so far. And I think that is one of the most important skill set required for any designers to unlearn, ready to look things from a different perspective. Your
Mm,
perspective may work out in certain way, but it may not work out in the other way around. And other perspective do exist. First, to accept that, that is very, very important,
yeah,
that acceptance is very important. And starting may it will be very frictional, there will be so much tussle happening in between these perspectives,
yeah.
but we need to be very open, not being tight, in terms
Uh,
of thinking is very, very important. I think that's the first message which we received from Suresh Iriat, who visited NID campus during orientation, that
uh,
you need to be open about uh, anything. So that's important. And being observant around from your own life, from others' life, or how things are around, why they are questioning things.
mhm,
That's this, I think, one of the core of designers to question things. Don't accept just like that. है
mhm.
तो क्यों है, but don't be what do you say वो दिमाग खाने के लिए क्वेश्चन नहीं, क्वेश्चन शुड हैव सब्सटेंस. इट शुडंट बी लाइक हाँ
Yes,
बस
yes.
पूछने के लिए पूछ
It's for
दिया.
learning basically,
yeah,
not
yeah,
for taunting.
yeah. Intention should be wise. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think these are 2-3 things which any aspiring designer should be start acquiring, observing, unlearning and relearning these things, and being
So,
open. Yeah.
and so if you are a student right now, then how would you use the resources in the college?
Oh, I would have utilized every single second in the workshop, which I didn't, because that is the state of the art ecosystem which you will be getting in the institution, which people don't realize कि आगे नहीं मिलने वाला है, कहीं नहीं मिलने वाला है, not even in the industry,
Yeah.
the best of design studios will also not give you access to that hands-on studio space.
Mhm.
That's one of a kind. As much I would have utilized, I would say.
One last question. What would be your design dream?
Design dream. Design dream would be at this stage. See, working at Samsung gives me exposure to bringing product to a very large masses. I mean, I think that is one of the core dream of any designers, to let their design reach out to
Hmm.
very large number of target user base. That
Yeah.
is being fulfilled. Now it's like next kya. So I'm still exploring that. What should be the next up thing? So I'm enjoying this phase right now, frankly speaking.
Yeah.
It's little bit blank slate right now. Yeah. What next? Yeah.
So Anshuman, thank you so much for taking out time.
Thank you,
And
Vishal, for having me
couple of
here. Yeah.
times we had you were busy that
Yeah.
one
We had
weekend
to
I was busy,
reschedule. Yeah.
and we had to reschedule it. And then तो बीच में मैंने ऐसे कुछ किया ही नहीं था तो uh, but then it's glad that this
Yeah.
turned
This
out to be
happened.
a
Yeah.
very
Yeah. Yeah.
nice
it
podcast.
it actually gives me good introspective thoughts when I, like, in sequence, in a combined way, now I have spoken. It gives me thoughts to reflect back about my approaches as well, so it's really good for me also to find out gaps and delta points, what to learn ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so on this note, all the best for your all the future products. and all the visits to with the Urta Patang thing.
I would not
And
suggest your audience to visit there because that is very amateurist side of me. Just I'm
नहीं
dumping
वो तो
out
होना ही
things
चाहिए ना. No one is
without thinking.
the person should always be
Yeah.
like that. One side
Mm.
can be good, polished nicely, and
Yeah.
other side is rough and what casual kind
Yeah.
of thing.
True.
So
True. True.
that was good, and yeah, all the best for your future endeavors.
Yeah.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
so grateful that you
Yeah.
came and had this
Thank you for
conversation
having me. Yeah. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
So thanks a lot. Yeah.
And best wishes for your audience as well.
Yeah.
Aspiring designers. Yep.
Thank you so much.
See you.
Chalo.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.